Hey, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co., and this is News and Week in Review, although it's not going to follow any normal structure of our weekend reviews. It's been chaos. It's been chaos over here. For the past month, it's been chaos, trying to juggle everything I normally do while also moving. And granted, you may have started to see this as a somewhat regular background. It's not done yet. Honestly, I need to move all those shelves like a bit over that way by like 2 inches to fit in 2 new shelves and make other small changes, and I'm still not completely happy with the echo, and I actually want a few more light situation adjustments. There's things that will still change here, but you might get the sense or appearance that I'm settling in. And I am settling in, but there's still so much to do that I prioritize getting a functional setup, and the rest of the room has slowly been adjusting, and the rest of the house too, but the rest of the house has slowly been adjusting in the background. But I just need to get a setup, so this was the first priority. So the chaos is not yet done. The chaos won't be done for quite some time. One room has been painted. There needs to be like 5 more painted. Honestly, the whole house needs to be painted, but one day at a time, one step at a time. There's a lot of things that need to happen. But it's been utter chaos. Because you combine a move with followed by a trip to IV Games, followed by a trip to Origins, followed by where I am currently as you're watching this, a trip to Dice Tower East, which for a brief moment, I was actually responsible and decided not to go this year. And then I changed my mind. I kind of was originally going to go. I usually go to Dice Tower West. Usually is a wrong word. I went to Dice Tower West last year. This past year I conflicted with Gamma, so I didn't go. And I don't usually do a lot of playing games conventions where I can just sit down and relax a little bit. Most of my conventions do have a degree of business oriented. In fact, a Level Up Retreat, which I do go to, is a convention I host. And so even though that's focused on playing games, I'm kind of on high alert the entire time, so it's not even fully relaxing. The closest thing to relaxing would be WSBG, but this past year I could only go the last 2 days because it conflicted with the Jewish holidays. So even that wasn't a full experience. So I was like, you know what? I'm canceling Dice Tower East. Well, no, I was going to go to Dice Tower East for the first time because I wanted to have a convention where I can actually sit down and enjoy myself and relax. And then I started to be responsible because of everything going on this month, and then I changed my mind, and I'm not regretting it per se because I think I need to relax for a few days, but I'm paying the price. I'm paying the price for that relaxation. Anyways, so that's kind of been my month. My month has been absolute chaos. For the first time ever, I've dropped 3 balls. That's not entirely true. I dropped a ball once upon a time, and now I've dropped 3 in this past week or so. And I may have talked about this in previous videos. I don't know. Again, this week in review is just more psychologist, a little mini therapy session and all that stuff. But once upon a time, I didn't review the game Soul Last Days of Our Star. I was supposed to review the game. They had a crowdfunding campaign. I was supposed to review it. I still have it on my shelf because I still plan on reviewing it, but I missed the crowdfunding campaign, so I'm kind of not in a rush right now. But that's the only commitment I've ever missed that had a date attached to it. There are many review copies that might sit around for 6 months, 8 months, sometimes even a year. That does happen, but if they don't have a date attached to it, then I just get them when I get them, and I make that clear when I take these things on. But Soul, The Last Day of the Star was the only game I ever didn't review on time. I took it on, there was a date attached to it. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I remember there's too many things happened at once, some unforeseen things happened, and I just missed the coverage on it. I still feel bad about that, because, I mean, it wasn't a paid contract or anything like that, but if I take on a game and I tell you I'll get your coverage, I feel bad if I don't. I try to take seriously what I do. As much as my entire job is literally all fun and games, I still feel there are people who rely on the things I say or do in different ways. There are people who can be affected, whether it's people who are buying games based on what I say, whether it's publishers who have to hear the things I say, good or bad, about their games. There's a degree of affecting to what I do, despite the fact that my job is literally all fun and games. Anyways, that was Once Upon a Time. Sold The Last Days of Our Star. Oh, by the way, go ahead and check out the campaign. Back it if you're interested. All those good things. Maybe the fact that I missed the review, I could still send some people their way as a courtesy. Although I'm not vouching for the game, mind you. Let me just put that on Do Not Disturb over here. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of what happened back then. But other than that, I've only ever dropped that 1 ball as far as reviewing deadlines or whatnot. This past week, I dropped 3. I was supposed to have a review coverage for Blood up on, review and gameplay coverage for Blood up on this past Tuesday, and I didn't. It did go up, but it went up later than Tuesday. It was supposed to be up on time, and it was up 2 days late. Not the end of the world, but I usually don't do that. I was also supposed to have review coverage for Odalin, and I think I'm going to miss the campaign entirely. I'm going to get them coverage. It might be late pledge coverage, but I'm like, I finished the rules, I just haven't had time to dive into it, and I am leaving for Dice Tower East. Well, my timeline. Your timeline, I'm already there. My timeline, I'm leaving for Dice Tower East in 8 hours. 8 hours, so I don't think I'm going to be able to play Odalin, and the campaign's going to be finished the day I come back. So I might be able to get them last day coverage, but if I don't, it's just going to have to be post game coverage. And again, it's not sponsored coverage. I've never missed sponsored coverage because, I mean, it's even more important. If someone's paying for a service, you have to make sure they get that. But I still feel terrible about it. I like Dragori Games. I like their games. Things happen, and again, I think I mentioned this in one other video, but I didn't get the updated rules till like 2 days before Origins, and that was like 5 days before the campaign. It just things happen. But then also I missed my 2 back and not back this past week. My 2 back and not back usually goes up on Mondays, and for the first time ever, it went up on Wednesday instead of Monday, and that's 3 things in 1 week that I missed, that I dropped the ball on, that did not get done in time, and that's just because too much is happening. There's just too much. I'm trying to do too much. And I'm not burning out. I don't think so. Because burning out's a whole different conversation. Burning out's when you push yourself too far and you start to lose satisfaction or joy in what you do. And I'm nowhere near that point. I still love what I do, but whether or not I'm burning out, I'm still choosing to juggle more balls than I possibly can, and a few of them are dropping along the way. And this is something I've talked about in other videos here and there. I'll probably do a full video on it at some point. I did a coffee chat recently about life goals and all that. That's not true. I filmed it 2 years ago. It went up recently. I may film another coffee chat on task management and things like that, which again, generally I'm fine at. This week was the week where it was too much. It's just too much. And now I'm heading to Dice Tower East. One of the things I do on a regular basis is I track how many videos I film and how many videos go up every single week. So on a typical week, 15 videos go live. On a typical week, it ranges, it changes, but on a typical week, 15 videos go live. And on a typical week, that means I have to film at least 15 videos just to keep up. But in reality, because I know that my life has travel and holidays and all these other things going on, it means I typically have to film 20 to 22 videos a week in order to keep up, in order to accommodate for, when I head to Dice Tower East for the next 6 days and can't film at all. Well, I'll be filming one vlog while I'm there, so I guess that'll count. But I mean, I just have to be mindful that I'm losing 14 videos while I'm at Dice Tower East, so it means the week before I have to film 28. Not actually the week before, but on average the week before. And over the past 8 weeks, fortunately, only down 7 videos. I've been tracking it. For the past 8 weeks, on average, I'm down 7, not on average. For the past 8 weeks, since I've been tracking this or whatnot, I'm down a total of 8 videos, meaning I've been slowly keeping up, but not quite keeping up. The good news is I usually have like 50 videos in the queue, which means I'm down to like 40 videos in the queue, which isn't the end of the world. It's not bad by any means. I'm excited about a bunch of them. There's a bunch of videos that'll be coming out. I'm excited for some of the content that will be coming because, there's not like major secrets. I just take satisfaction in what I do. And so I'm excited for the videos I got to film that you may see next week, 2 weeks from now, a month from now, and in some cases like 3 months from now, and sometimes the ones that go into the back burner and show up, 6 months or a year from now when I'm once again having a busy week. I love what I do. I'm not burning out. But I do need to be mindful. Now, when I come back from Dice Tower East, I will have 3 weeks before Gencon. 3 weeks may not seem like a lot of time to you, but given the past month and how things are gone, 3 weeks feels like a lifetime to me. 3 weeks feels like an opportunity to catch up. 3 weeks feels like an opportunity to center myself again before I come home from Gencon with like 60 games and the homework assignment that entails. Speaking of which, we filmed our Origins haul and Origins kind of semi-haul / recap. That video will be going up sometime soon. I haven't had a chance to edit it, so it'll be going up in a week, 2 weeks, something like that. I don't know. But like in there, we came home from Origins with maybe 40 or so games, 40-ish, something like that. And the good news is I've already played like 15, 20 of those games because I do try to, again, what I do is literally fun and games, but it's also a job. It's also a responsibility. And so like when I come home from Origins with 40 games, that's 40 games I need to review and cover and provide coverage to the creators because they gave me those games. I've already played maybe half of them. I've already reviewed maybe a third of them. So like I'm making sure to be as on top of things as possible, but I really need those 3 weeks between Dice Tower East and Gencon to fully catch up, to partially catch up, to be able to get to a point that when I come up from Gencon with the giant homework assignment that is Gencon, I don't feel completely underwater. Now the good news is after Gencon, I actually have a real break. Like I have a break from Gencon to, I think WSBG is going to be next. That's going to be early August till late September, I believe. Late September. This is a good opportunity to go ahead and say our sponsor of the week is going to be Dice Tower. That's not true. Our sponsor of the week is going to be WSBG. WSBG is our sponsor of this video because generally they've been sponsoring a few videos here and there, but WSBG is the show where you can go ahead and compete to win up to $40,000. By the way, if this seems like a natural segue, it's kind of an impromptu last-minute decision, but Dice says WSBG. WSBG is a show where you can go ahead and win up to $40,000 by competing in a show of board games. You're going to have to go ahead and prepare 16 different games. You don't have to know all 16 16, you do have to kind of walk in with knowing at least one that you're pretty sure of. The problem is if you win that one, you're going to be playing one of the other 16, and then if you win that, you'll be playing one of the other 16, and you can't control those games. You can control your initial picks, you can't control which games you'll be playing. But by the time you're done, someone will have won all 3 games. The game of their choice, they'll have won it multiple times, and then they'll have gone to other matches and won 2 other games, and at the end of it, they will be the World Series of Board Gaming champion. Now, if that seems like a kind of thing you're interested in, great, you already know what you need to know, but if it doesn't, then you can go ahead and play in all the various side room events. There's going to be tournaments, there's going to be side rooms, there's going to be the Dice Tower West Library, there's going to be events and everything else. There's a ton of things going on, and the show keeps getting bigger every single year. It's going to be hosted at the Bally's Hotel in Las Vegas. It is an absolutely good time. It is if you want, I mentioned Dice Tower East and how it's a retreat and it's calming and it's, or Dice Tower West was, playing games and that focus. To me, WSBG is one of my favorite relaxing conventions. I'm still sad that this past year I only got to go for 2 days as opposed to the whole thing, and I'm excited to be there for the whole time this year. And if you do want to check it out, please use code ALEX at checkout. Use code ALEX and you'll get $25 off whatever ticket option you buy. And with that, we'll go back to our regularly sponsored segment over here, regularly scheduled show, although I don't remember exactly where I left off. Oh yeah, saying that between Gencon and WSBG. Between Gencon and WSBG, I'll have 6 weeks, 7 weeks, something. And that, again, feels like a lifetime. There may be, like, impromptu trips. Every once in a while, a publisher wants to bring us out, and that doesn't really go on my calendar properly until I find out about them. But I can still deal with a single trip in between those 7 weeks. I can make that work or figure something out. But that's kind of where things are. That's kind of where I am right now. I still have a ton to do in this room. You don't see it. There's literally 2 calyxes that I just assembled that are off camera so that you don't have to see them. But I need to prime them in, load them around. I still need another calyx behind the camera. Once all the calyxes are here, that's when I'm going to start trying to tune in the echo. There's a slight echo in the background, but once the room is quote-unquote full of all the board games, that's when I can know how much I have to push things in different ways. Because right now, there's still walls for things to bounce off of, whereas one of those walls directly across from me is going to have another calyx full of games, and I think that will make things a little better. Anyways, there's stuff to be done. There's rooms to be painted. There's games to be moved. I still need to film a whole collection, like kind of update and recap now that I've moved, but things have slowly been put on shelves in a way that doesn't fit any rhyme or reason to the way I typically want things. There's games on the shelves around me. There's games in the back room over there. There's games upstairs in that room, and I think that's it. So like 3 main areas: shelves, laundry room, and upstairs room. But they'll all be moved around in different ways, and order and schedule will at some point resume. Anyways, the reason I'm saying all this is because I sat down to film my weekend review knowing that I'm taking off to Dice Tower East in 8 hours or so, and I was like, you know what? I don't have the mental order in my head to properly do the weekend review as we normally do. I don't have that structure currently going on. My mind's currently in chaos, and if my mind's currently in chaos, chaos is what we'll present on camera. Dear Lord, I miss chaos streams. I miss Devin. I miss Devin and the chaos streams. We'll bring them back in some way, shape, or form. I don't know when. I don't know how. All I know is that I plan on being here in the board game space for a long time. I love what I do. I'm grateful for the opportunity that all of you give me on a regular basis to do what I do. I'm grateful for the opportunity to do, the regular daily schedules and reviews and the 2-back, not to back, and the month in reviews and all the regularly scheduled content. And I'm just as grateful, if not more so, for these types of videos. These types of videos to me are more. They're better. There's more of a connection. There's more of a in the moment. They don't fall into the realm of regularly scheduled content and the structure that ensues. Granted, because this is titled Week in Review, the vast majority of you that choose not to watch Week in Reviews because they are regularly scheduled content will miss out on all this. And maybe you want to, maybe you don't. I don't really know. But those of you who are here and watching, hopefully you enjoy this video. And I do plan on talking about the Week in Review a bit because I can't call it the Week in Review without in some way actually engaging in Week in Review content. And so to that end, I think at this point, oh, by the way, I'll do another sponsored spot just because I love it so much. This is a cordless screwdriver. Okay, you can find this on Temu, which is not a site I generally recommend, and most of the crap I've gotten on Temu is exactly that, crap. But this is like $25, something like that. You can buy it on Amazon. It just costs you like $40. I love this guy. This guy is like, it's just it plugs in, it charges quickly, multiple POW options, a whole kit and caboodle full of these things. There are multiple options. If you get the cheapest option, you're not getting the whole fancy box, but like the $22, $23 version of this gives you all these tools, a little flashlight and a too in case you're in a hard to reach spot. This has been such a lifesaver in terms of disassembling every Calyx I own and reassembling it. Other things too, but it's definitely been getting its money's worth just from the Calyxes alone. I am a big fan of electric drills, but sometimes an electric drill is overkill for the situation, and this is, yeah, Temu. Go ahead. Oh, it's actually not pronounced Temu. Do you know that? It's like Temu or something like that. You ever see the Super Bowl ad for that? I mean, the Super Bowl ad kind of is like, oh, by the way, we've been saying Temu all along, and it's like Temu, and their ads are kind of a little chaotic, and the fact that you get them pop-ups as you do if you are, like, if you have their app, you get 7,000 bajillion pop-ups between WhatsApp, email, and the app itself. I've muted most of them, but I do leave some of them on because every once in a while I go on there and decide that I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice and buy the next thing that goes in the garbage, but that's been worth it. And with that said, here's your week in review. I'm not going to talk about the games I played. I'm not going to talk about BG hotness. I don't have the news in the week because I just haven't had the mental capacity to do all that. But I can tell you about the week in review. This past Saturday, nope, that is not it. I need to go back 5 days. That was next Saturday. This past Saturday, we had the following. Was it this past Saturday? Yeah, we had a review for 10 Days in the USA. This is a review I did with my daughter, with Ricky. It's been a while she's been in a video, and she's back. And 10 Days in the USA. She gave it a 5 out of 5. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Really enjoyed that one. It is a great game. She loves that game. I really like that game. Then later that day, we had a Blood review, a review for Blood from Lucas Magna Studios. Gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I overall enjoy Blood. There's a lot of things I really, really, really like. There were some things that held it back. I do find that I am more critical and more picky. The bigger the box is, the more rules overhead, the more things that go into your ability to play it, the more picky I am, but like, will I actually table it? If Blood was a much smaller game, it would easily be a 4. The nature of how much they're asking for you to invest in the game means it has to be that much of a better experience, so I am picky about that. I do hope that they tweak some of the things, and I know they are looking at some of those things already, because the things that were good were really good, and so it's a game I want to like a drop more than I do. But even so, 3.5 out of 5 is pretty good. I do think it might go higher depending what they do. On Sunday, we had upcoming crowdfunding for July. Another packed month full of great games, including Brink, including Tanglewoods, including Kemet, although half of those are already up. We have a bunch of fun campaigns. We had, on Monday, we had 2 back-to-back going into the usual crowdfunding campaigns. On Tuesday, we had a few videos. We had a Kemet expansion review, Rise of Gods. I covered what I was able to table from the expansion, because I didn't do the team mode, the solo mode, or the 6-player, but I did the rest of it, and I like it because it has more power tiles to Kemet, and they're fun power tiles, so overall, really a fan of the expansion, although whether or not you need it is a different story entirely. There was also a Zoo Tycoon New Shores review, later on Tuesday. Overall, liked it, not necessarily as impressed. It was a fine expansion, nothing wrong with it, but less essential to me. We had a DC United gameplay if you want to check that out, so if you want to see myself and Meg go head-to-head with Cheetah as Batman and Wonder Woman, we take on Cheetah, and I'm not going to tell you what happens. You can go ahead and watch that video and find out, and yes, we will have more DC United coverage. We'll have at least one other gameplay, and at least a review. We also have over on Wednesday. Wednesday, we had 20 Gencon games to be excited about. If the title's not clear, it's 20 Gencon games to be excited about. On Thursday, well, I mean, it's basically 20 games that will be at Gencon that I'm excited about, and they're games you can buy, I believe. I have to remember, I'm doing a video for demoing and for buying. I think that was the one you could buy. I mean, you can't buy the video. You can buy those 20 games at Gencon. On Thursday, we had a few things going up. We had a review for, I don't remember the order of these, unfortunately. Let's see. The order's probably that, then that, then that. Okay, we had a Tanglewoods gameplay going up. So if you want to check out Tanglewoods Red from Chip 3 Games, a gameplay went up by Meg, a solo gameplay by Meg on the channel. We had a review for Nunatek going up. This is a Cosmos game coming out that I kind of, well, I can tell you because it already went up. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I really liked it. I think it is charming. It's accessible. It's not a perfect game, and it's the kind of game I could see it going down over time, but for right now, it's a 4 out of 5. And then we had a Tanares RPG unboxing. If you want to see me know nothing about the game I'm unboxing, that should be a fun video to check out. On Friday, we had a potentially controversial video of why I'm not covering Nightshift, the board game. It's a little more nuanced than that. It's about more than just why I'm not covering the game. It's about the nature of complicated topics in the board game space and how to handle them. But it's an interesting video. I do welcome your feedback on it, but it's basically if you were in any way interested about the controversy surrounding Nightshift, if you know about the controversy surrounding Nightshift, then this is my video video kind of touching upon it to a degree, touching on the nature of the board game space, what people are sensitive to, when things are consistent or not consistent. You can check that out. And then today we have a review going up from A Message from the Stars from All Play. Is going to be going up later today, as well as a review for Tanglewoods by myself and Meg will be going up as well later today. As far as next week, we have a bunch of things. We're going to have a more randoms question. We're going to have another series of random questions to go over, although this time they're not really as random. We'll also have a late pledge wrap up over there, a late pledge covering 20 late pledges you can go ahead and check out, because I haven't done one of those in a while. And we'll have a review for DC United, which is a kind of a review of DC United, but also a conversation around the entire Marvel United line and how things have progressed over time. And that should be the videos going up. As far as the games on the table, I don't have games on the table, because I will be at Dice Tower East and I will be playing a lot. You know what? I take it back. I take it back. I was going to say that I'm going to Dice Tower East, and because of that, I plan on playing a lot against Dice Tower East, and won't be playing a lot of games here. But I do have these games that are going into my luggage to tentatively play at the airport. Because I'm going to be going ahead, I'm going to be traveling to Dice Tower East together with Meg and AP. If you've seen AP on videos before, he's the regular member of our game group and shows up in the occasional video here and there. But these are all the trick-taking games, because literally, well, 3 trick-taking games and 1 poker adjacent to crew game. But these are my airport backups to play. We have Xylotar and Sandbag from Bezier Games. We have The Gang from Cosmos, which is a poker set kind of game. And then we have 9 Lights from All Play. These are all the airport backups. I don't know which ones I'll get to play, but between the way there and the way back, some of these should probably get tabled. In any case, that is basically going to be your news and week in review. A little more chaotic, a little less structured, a little bit just kind of an update on things going on. There may be more of these. Until I properly get recovered and properly get caught up, there may be more of the chaos. The talking to you about what's going on, all these various things, because I'm just trying to keep my head above water. I'm loving it. I'm having fun. I don't know how to say no to things that are enjoyable, but it is a lot. In any case, and until next time, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co. I hope you have an excellent week. If you are at Dice Tower East and we've already talked, great, awesome. And if we haven't and you're at Dice Tower East, I mean, if you see me, we can definitely play a game. I'm always happy to. This is my chill convention. This is the one where I'm going to just sit back, relax, and have a good time. Or at least try to. In any case, I hope you have an excellent week. I think I said all this already. So, have a good one.